It's a summer Saturday in Las Vegas. The time? Just after 1 a.m. Under normal circumstances, the Strip would be buzzing. Club crowds spilling onto the streets, casinos bustling, and neon lights dancing across the pavement. But tonight, there's an eerie stillness. The usual energy is missing. And it's not just Vegas. Across the country, in places like San Francisco, Buffalo, and Old Orchard Beach, longtime magnets for tourists, the scene is the same: quiet, empty, anxious. This is peak travel season in the U.S. when cities count on a surge of visitors. Yet, instead of packed sidewalks and fully booked hotels, there's concern. Desperation even. Hotels are slashing rates. Some shops are accepting Canadian currency at par. One business is even handing out free golf balls to lure people back. The plea is everywhere: please return. But Canadians and international tourists are staying away. Even more surprising, many business owners admit they have no idea why. They shrug, they speculate, but many miss the bigger picture. And that blind spot is dangerous. Because the problem isn't just about hotel fees or long border lines, it's about something deeper: safety perceptions, political friction, and how the U.S. is seen by the rest of the world right now. Take Las Vegas. By May 2025, visitor traffic had dropped by 6.5%. In June, international travel alone saw a staggering 13% decline. At the Canada-US border, crossings at places like Niagara Falls plummeted. At the Rainbow Bridge, June traffic dropped 16%. At the Peace Bridge, May saw a 22% dip. In total, almost 700,000 fewer cross-border trips were made by car in just 1 month. Let's unpack what's really happening, starting in Las Vegas. Known globally as the entertainment capital, Vegas depends on visitors. And from January through May of 2025, nearly 1 million fewer people came compared to the same stretch. In 2024, March alone saw an 8% drop, largely linked to shrinking international interest amid shifting U.S. policies. Airport data backs this up. At Harry Reid International Airport, international arrivals fell nearly 9% in May. Overall, passenger traffic is down 3.6% for the year. Canadian carriers have seen some of the steepest declines. Air Canada traffic fell 22% in May. WestJet dropped more than 18% in April. Hotels tell a similar story. Smith Travel Research reports that in June, occupancy rates fell by almost 15%. The week ending July 5th saw the lowest hotel occupancy in the country, just 66.7%. Meanwhile, gaming revenue is down about 5% year to date, a clear signal that both visitation and spending are on the decline. Why? Many blame the costs. The city, once known for cheap fun, $1 shrimp cocktails, budget buffets, now boasts $9 coffees, $100 buffets, and even a reported $279 charge for a movie experience. Average hotel rates have jumped from $124 in 2015 to over $210 today. Add $50 per night resort fees, paid parking, and other surcharges, and the experience feels less like a getaway and more like a financial ambush. One visitor shared they paid $26 for a bottle of water. Others describe being nickel and dime to exhaustion. Analysts say Las Vegas has transformed, no longer the playground of the middle class, but an upscale escape for high-end tourists. The rest? Priced out. Then there's politics. International tourism has taken a clear hit, often labeled the Trump slump 2.0. Since President Trump's return to office in 2025, tensions with allies like Canada have increased. Rhetoric about annexation, tariffs, and immigration enforcement have left a mark. Reports of travelers being detained or turned away at the border have further damaged the perception of the U.S. as a welcoming destination. The numbers reflect this. International arrivals dropped 11.6% in March alone and are projected to fall 9.4% for the year. Canadian travel to the U.S. has been hit especially hard, with bookings down 40%. Airlines have cut back on routes to major tourist states like Florida, Arizona, and Nevada. For hospitality workers in Vegas, it's a gut punch. Many servers, bartenders, and casino dealers say tip income has been slashed in half. Even a new federal tax exemption on tips, up to $25,000, hasn't helped much. Part-time and extra workers are the first to lose hours, and the culinary union says thousands are affected. One blackjack dealer in training described the mood as grim. The industry feels like it's in a holding pattern, with fewer jobs and delayed hiring. Local businesses echo the pain. Tour operators, small cafes, and even bike tour companies report cancellations, especially from Canadian customers. Some have likened this downturn to a mini-COVID moment. City officials insist Las Vegas is still alive. They point to rising spending per visitor and a growing downtown scene that's drawing more foot traffic. Areas like Fremont Street have seen a 6% bump thanks to affordable entertainment. But while spending per person is up, it doesn't offset the sharp fall in overall visitors. Now let's head to Buffalo and Niagara Falls, where the impact is also painfully clear. According to data from both U.S. and Canadian authorities, Canadian car travel into the U.S. dropped by about 33% in June. In western New York, all 7 major border crossings saw fewer travelers. The Peace Bridge saw a 22% drop in May. Rainbow Bridge, down more than 16% in June. Whirlpool Rapids Bridge, a 30% drop. Local tourism officials called it drastic. In Buffalo, they described Canadian visitors as family, an essential part of the region's economic heartbeat. But by May, crossings were down 21% compared to the previous year. For local businesses, the hit is personal. At a neighborhood pizza joint, a worker said business has really suffered. A burger shop employee echoed it. The Canadians just aren't coming. Many businesses have reduced staff or closed for more hours due to low demand. On Old Falls Street, a hotspot near Niagara Falls, vendors say half their customers used to be Canadian. Now, they're nearly gone. In response, Buffalo tourism authorities launched a charm offensive. Ads in Toronto, billboards reading Buffalo loves Canada, and cross-border partnerships with travel firms. But analysts say that won't be enough. Because the reason Canadians aren't coming isn't just money. It's mindset. Many Canadians are now choosing to vacation within their own borders or in places like Mexico or Europe. Why? A mix of principles and practicality. Some cite political rhetoric, perceived hostility, or policy changes around travel and immigration. The decision to stay away is personal, not just financial. And Buffalo isn't alone. Other destinations popular with Canadians, from Old Orchard Beach in Maine to parts of Florida and Arizona, report similar trends: canceled bookings, low turnout, and quieter streets. One beachside cafe said, "You can tell just by looking. It's nothing like last summer." Even in San Francisco, where Canadian travel is less of a factor, international visits are down. Tourists cite rising crime, political protests, expensive hotels, and visa delays as reasons for avoiding the city. Visitor numbers are falling, and hotel occupancy rates confirm it. So what do all these places have in common? First, cost. The U.S. has become too expensive for many middle-class travelers. Second, perception. Stories of political unrest, travel hassles, and unwelcoming policies have made people wary. Third, denial. When business owners say, "We done," to know why people aren't coming, they're ignoring the obvious. Fourth, fallout. It's not just visitors who suffer. It's the workers. Fewer shifts, smaller tips, vanishing job security. So what could happen next? Scenario 1. Soft recovery. If U.S. tourism agencies act quickly by cutting hidden fees, improving messaging, and rebuilding goodwill, international tourism could stabilize by mid-2026. Scenario 2. Prolonged decline. If current trends continue, the U.S. could lose billions. Visitors will simply go elsewhere, permanently. Scenario 3. Two-tier market. Luxury travelers keep coming, while middle-income tourists vanish. Revenue per visitor might rise, but volume falls, hollowing out mid-range hotels, local restaurants, and everyday businesses. Scenario 4. Local reinvention. Cities adapt. Vegas leans into domestic visitors and off-strip events. Buffalo partners with Canadian attractions. Everyone gets more creative and more affordable. But the solution begins with honesty. Business leaders and city officials need to name the real issues: rising prices, poor optics, and political baggage. They must work to restore value, not just through discounts, but by making travel feel fair again. And they must fix the message, show the world that the U.S. is open, safe, and worth visiting. They also need to support workers through job protection, retraining, and financial relief. Because free golf balls and cheap exchange rates won't fix the foundation. Tourists are people, thoughtful, cautious, and increasingly principled. Right now, many of them are saying no. So what do you think? Is this just a temporary dip? Or are we watching a long-term shift in global travel habits? Let us know in the comments. Have you changed your travel plans this year? Visited Las Vegas, Buffalo, or Niagara Falls recently? Share your experience. And if you found this deep dive insightful, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell. We're here to track how tourism and cities built on it are changing in real time. Thanks for watching.